Hey, good Saturday afternoon. This is meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. It's January 18th, 2025. Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with the Saginaw Bay weather forecast brought to you by Frank's Great Outdoors in Linwood. A lot to cover here. Once in a while, we get a break in the clouds and we actually get the satellite picture to show us what the ice conditions look like. And so here it is. This is the current visible satellite. So as the clouds part, we can see the snow and the ice. And what you get there is you see ice and you see a lot of open water too. So you be careful. I'm not going to suggest whether it's safe or unsafe. I'll let you make that decision. I give you the weather. Okay, and as I give you the weather, sorry, I have to do this. I have to go off on you a little bit, preach to you a little bit, okay? We know there's great ice building weather coming this week, and I would figure great ice building weather through at least the end of January, I think maybe into first several days of February, but that's my point. I've lived near the Saginaw Bay for 30 years. I'll tell people, hey, we're going to get a great cold weather, and they'll say, oh, okay, we're going to plan an ice fishing trip February 15th. That's when we can make it. You make it when the ice is there because the oceans are warmer, polar regions are warmer, and our weather just flip-flops too quickly now. For me to tell you that we have great ice into early February and it'll still be around February 15th, I don't know. It can flip-flop, and we're starting to see signs of a warmer trend coming in February. Slightly warmer. Could be great ice fishing, could be solid thick ice and comfortable temperatures at the same time. But I'm going to start off with that, okay? Show you that I think in the big picture we have 2 Arctic outbreaks. I think in the big picture we have 3 Arctic outbreaks yet to come. Of course, the one that's coming tomorrow through Wednesday. And then it looks like another 2 or 3 day Arctic outbreak the last days of January 28th to 30th or so. I feel there's probably one more in the second week of February, but that one could also drop down in the western part of the country and bring us some warmer air. So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the mid-levels of the atmosphere. The black lines are the flow, and the greens and the purples and the blues show that the atmosphere is compressed and colder than normal, and the reds and the oranges show that the atmosphere would be expanded and warmer than normal. It doesn't necessarily mean that it goes extremely warm, but it means that it has the ability to come to the freezing mark or more. So this is our Arctic outbreak. This is one lobe of the polar vortex. We don't get the whole polar vortex to rotate off the polar region and come to us. We get little pieces of it. So this is into Wednesday. And this is into Thursday. And as we go toward the weekend, it looks like we get into kind of a modified west-southwest flow, and we go to about normal. I think we could hit freezing next weekend. Note that that storm system drops into the southwest. Now we get to January 28th and 29th. And by the way, I'm showing you the ensemble mode of the European. So this is 51 tweaks all averaged together. When we get out into the distance, we like the trend if we have 51 iterations of this model as opposed to just one iteration. So this is January 29th, and that would signify another Arctic outbreak. In this case, it would not look as strong as the one we have coming this week, but in my mind, in weather, we'll have more ice on the Great Lakes. We'll have more snowpack around the Great Lakes. So typically, the Arctic outbreaks have the strongest time in the last week of January. So I think this could change to be just as cold, if not a couple of degrees colder than what we have coming this week. Then watch what happens. Now we're at February 1st. We only get out to February 2nd here. You see the warming of the atmosphere. Now our flow, instead of coming from the Arctic, if you trace those black lines back, our flow is coming out of western Canada. That's a mild flow. You see some cold air building up to the northwest, and I think that would come up over the ridge, drop down in, and it will be our last real true long-lasting cold outbreak, you know, somewhere second week of February. It also has the potential, and some things are showing, that it could drop into the southwest part of the country and then blow the mild, warmer air our way. So get out there when you can. Here's the radar, nothing going on. It's all lake effect snow. There's still no widespread snowstorm in the offing. I'd be very surprised if we do not get one or two or three of those. And now it looks like February into March, because we are in an active storm track, but this is the radar forecast all the way through Monday. And all you get on the bay is an occasional burst of what I like to call decorative flurries. And then when you look at total snowfall, it's still not a snowmobiler's heaven. It's still lake effect, all or nothing. West side of the state, western row of counties along Lake Michigan, 6 to 24 inches. For us over Saginaw Bay, an inch, something like that. All right, so let's pick out some times where the wind is decent for you and show you what's going to happen on the wind. This is a forecast of the wind. So we go to this afternoon, and it's a northwest wind. A little hard to see the arrows, but I think you'll be able to follow along. Northwest wind, afternoon, 15 to 20 miles an hour, not extremely strong. This is 6 o'clock. This is 7. This is 8 o'clock tonight, 9. So the wind letting up, still out of the northwest, wind letting up maybe to 10 miles an hour or less in the late evening hours. This is overnight. This is middle of the night. You know, wind lighter, 5 to 10 miles an hour, maybe near calm. This is Sunday morning, 6 a.m. Northwest wind still, and you're going to see, you know, winds, I would call it 5 to 10 miles an hour. I still believe we're in the wind season, so you're still mostly surprised at how strong the wind is versus how light the wind is. This is midday on Sunday, and you're still looking at a northwest wind. So the wind direction is going to be fairly consistent overall. Where you're at locally, it could be a touch different, but overall on the bay, this will work. This is Sunday afternoon. We're looking at a west wind now at 10 miles an hour. So Sunday could be a pretty nice day if you can find the place where you feel safe. This is middle of the night, Sunday night. We go into Monday morning, 9 a.m., a west-southwest wind, 15 to 20 miles an hour. Of course, we're getting the wind chills down to 25 below zero, so should you be out on the bay in that kind of weather? In my mind, no, but you do what you want. I know that much. And we go through Monday. We continue with the westerly wind. So it's really going to be a northwest wind on today and Sunday, backing to west on Monday, and then backing to the northwest on Tuesday and Wednesday. Big picture. So here's a snowstorm for the East Coast. That pulls our Arctic air down. Another snowstorm in the deep south midweek. We get back to a southwesterly flow, and you don't see any rain yet. And remember, you got to have temperatures above freezing to have rain. There's your Arctic outbreak around the 28th to 29th or so. So we still continue to see. And note that this high pressure center, instead of going straight to Texas, may come across the Great Lakes, a sign that the Great Lakes have cooled. And that's why I think the second outbreak at the end of January could be a few degrees colder than the last. Again, we'll run this out, pretty far out, 16 days, total snowfall, absence of a major snowstorm on the Saginaw Bay, just on the west side of the state, lake effect. Sunday's temperatures, highs will be in the teens. Most of the day will be between about, I would say, 7 and 12 degrees. Monday, a high only of 3-ish. Tuesday, probably around 0 on the bay. Wednesday, in the single digits. Thursday, back to 20. Friday, into the mid to upper 20s. Saturday, maybe 30-ish. Next Sunday, maybe 30-ish, 32-ish. The 27th in the 20s, 28th into the 30s, And then this model and many things show the next Arctic outbreak coming in as we go to last days of January, first days of February, and just for fun to look at pretty colors. You know it's going to be cold, so Sunday morning, single-digit lows. Monday morning, let's call it 0 to 5 below on the bay. Tuesday, let's call it 0 to 5 below. Inland, you know, you're going to be 10 below. Wednesday morning looks cold too, well below 0, 0 to 10 below, and then we start to moderate. So definitely some ice building weather, but you did see the satellite video, satellite imagery, that there is a large pocket still of wide open water. We'll have wind northwest to west, so you do with that what you want. And I'm meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. This has been the Saginaw Bay weather forecast brought to you by Frank's Great Outdoors in Linwood. Head over there. I'm sure they will tell you what's hitting where and all that good stuff. Take care, neighbors.